Hello, and welcome to Cafe Classroom Connections, increasing participation through education and marketing. The purpose of this video is to provide Virginia School Nutrition directors and supervisors with the resources and guidance necessary to facilitate the 60-minute hands-on training module that was introduced during the 2018 Summer Manager Workshops. My name is Kelly Shomo, and I will serve as your host, providing guidance and instruction as you navigate your team through the module. This module may be implemented alone or in conjunction with the other 4 videos in the 2018 Summer Manager Workshop series. For more information about the series, visit the Virginia Department of Education's Office of School Nutrition website. Now, if you're ready, let's get started with Cafe Classroom Connections. Before your trainees arrive, let's review the resources and supplies you will need to conduct the module. We can start with the digital resources. They're available for download on the VDOE Office of School Nutrition website in the same location as this video. If you have not already done so, please download and, if desired, print the digital resources for Cafe Classroom Connections. For your convenience, the complete list of resources is now being shown on your screen. These include the Cafe Classroom Connections Instructor Workbook, the corresponding participant workbook, and 1 set of guiding practices. Now that you have the digital resources, it's time to prepare the learning area and gather additional supplies. The supply list is currently shown on your screen and may also be found in the instructor guide. The list includes a classroom or learning area with enough tables and chairs for all participants, a whiteboard or easel with flip chart paper, markers for writing on the whiteboard or flip chart, tape for posting the guiding practices in the learning area, and supplies for the tasting experiment and lunch line challenge activity. For the tasting experiment, you will need 4 beverage pitchers, access to a sink or water fountain, 1 small bottle of red food coloring, 1 small bottle of green food coloring, and the following supplies for each participant: 1 piece of paper, 1 pen or pencil, 4 4-ounce portion cups, 6 to 8 ounces of apple juice, and 1 napkin or paper towel. For the lunch line challenge, you may choose to implement one of 2 versions of the activity. The first version involves teams of participants using a collection of pre-selected decorations and supplies to create an attractive, enticing mock service line. You can determine the number of teams based on your total number of participants and availability of your supplies. If your resources are limited, the second version of the activity may better suit your needs. The second version includes each team of participants sketching a mock-up of their service line plan according to a special event or season of their choice. If you are implementing the first version of the Lunch Line Challenge activity, you will need 1 table per team of participants to serve as the mock service line, and 1 kit per team containing a selection of decorations, supplies, and sample food items like whole fruits or vegetables for creating a themed service line. If implementing the second version of the Lunch Line Challenge activity, you will need several sheets of flip chart paper and 1 pack of colored markers for each team of participants. Once you gather all of your supplies, you can set up the learning area. First, ensure you have enough tables and chairs to accommodate all participants. Additionally, make sure you have plenty of extra table space for the Lunch Line Challenge activity. At this point, you should be set up and ready to go. It's now time to pause the video and welcome your participants as they arrive. When you are ready to begin the module, press play. Hello, and welcome to Cafe Classroom Connections. In this interactive training module, you will have the opportunity to explore the power of using your cafe to link nutrition to the classroom and promote healthy choices. Before we begin, please ensure that you have the following materials: a digital or hard copy of the Cafe Classroom Connections Participant Workbook, 1 piece of scratch paper, a pen or pencil, and 4 tasting samples. Next, let's take a moment to review some guiding practices. These serve to maintain an engaging yet respectful environment that is conducive to learning. Guiding practice number 1 reminds us to attack the problem, not the person. Instead of focusing on the problem, focus on identifying potential solutions. Guiding practice number 2 encourages us to remain present, both mentally and physically. We all have busy schedules and lives outside of this training, but during the next hour, please try to focus on the material so that you get the most out of your time here. Part of that focus means silencing your cell phones and refraining from text and email. If you must make or answer a call, please do so away from the learning area so that you do not disrupt your colleagues. Guiding practice number 3 says to listen with an open mind. Instead of mentally preparing your response before another person is finished speaking, take a moment to digest what is being said and remain open to ideas different from your own. Finally, guiding practice number 4 reminds us to avoid side conversations. It is easy to get excited about something and want to share that excitement with your neighbor. However, side conversations disrupt learning and in some cases include information that might be valuable to the entire group. Now that we have set our guiding practices, let's begin the lesson. In this module, we're going to not only explore the benefits of connecting the cafeteria with the classroom, but also see how this connection can be used as a powerful marketing tool. At the end of the module, you should be able to meet the following objectives. 1. You should understand the importance of utilizing the cafeteria as a classroom. 2. You should be able to sell your program to students, staff, and parents with targeted marketing strategies. And finally, you should be able to use the Smarter Lunchroom Scorecard and Action Guide to enhance the dining experience for your customers. The cafeteria isn't just a place where kids eat. It's also a learning environment where you can visually reinforce the lessons that you are teaching through your menus, activities, and events. Additionally, placing emphasis on the cafeteria as a classroom can increase support of school meal programs from parents and school staff. More support for school meals equals increased participation. Increased participation equals increased funds for enhancing school meal programs through staffing, equipment, and food quality. Remember, the cafeteria manager sets the tone. Attitude and interaction with customers, parents, and staff will make or break your programs. Don't be afraid to try new things, and don't expect every idea to be a home run. Learning what our customers don't want is just as valuable as identifying what they do want. Visual food education in the cafeteria can take on many forms, from posters depicting appropriate portion sizes to salad bar signs with nutrition education. Utilizing our cafeterias as classrooms is an absolute must for building a truly healthy next generation. Before diving into our discussion, you will have an opportunity to participate in a small experiment. At this time, the instructor should prepare to pause the video. Each participant should have 4 sample cups filled with 4 different liquids, 1 piece of paper, and 1 pen or pencil. Once the video is paused, the instructor will lead you through the experiment by following the instructions outlined in the Cafe Classroom Connections Instructor Guide. At this time, the instructor may pause the video and conduct the experiment. Press play when you are ready to proceed with the lesson. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the experiment, which, by the way, is something you can easily add to your toolbox for educating staff and students on the importance of food presentation. While some of you may have figured out the point of the experiment prior to tasting the samples, those of you who were unaware that all 3 of the juice samples were the same may have perceived different flavors solely based on the color of the juice. By changing the appearance of the juice with food coloring, we can trick our brain into thinking we taste other flavors. The same phenomenon occurs with all foods that we eat. Remember, we eat with our eyes. Keep that in mind each day when you prepare, display, and serve your students. Now, let's shift gears just a little bit and consider the following question. What strategies are you using to build a strong connection between the cafeteria and classroom? At this time, the instructor may pause the video and give everyone a couple of minutes to think about the question. Once everyone is ready, the instructor can facilitate a group discussion. When ready to proceed with the lesson, press play. Feel free to incorporate breaks as needed. Welcome back. I hope your discussion helped generate some new ideas and best practices. One strategy that is vital to connecting the cafeteria to the classroom is the sales strategy. In other words, the strategy for selling your programs to your target audiences, which includes students, school staff, parents, and community members. At this point, you might be thinking, that's great, but what does a sales strategy involve? Well, let's discuss some specific ways in which you can sell your programs to each target audience. At this time, the instructor should prepare to pause the video. For this discussion, I want each of you to come up with at least one idea for selling your program to each target audience. When everyone is ready, the instructor will ask you to share out and discuss. The instructor may now pause the video and facilitate the discussion. When you are ready to proceed with the lesson, press play. Hello again. As you probably noticed during your discussion, different strategies are necessary for different audiences. Often you need to break down your sales strategy even further to include subgroups present within your target audiences. We know that factors like age, gender, and ethnicity can impact purchasing decisions, which means that we have to adjust our sales strategy accordingly. With that said, let's review some strategies you might use to sell your programs to your target audiences. When it comes to students, a variety of factors impact food choices at school. One factor we are concerned with is age. As such, some strategies may only be applicable to certain grade levels. In many cases, however, strategies can be slightly tweaked and applied to all grade levels. With that in mind, let's review some strategies you might use to sell your programs to students. One strategy is creating and/or incorporating characters or mascots. The nice thing about this strategy is that you can make it as simple or complex as you like. If your school already has a mascot, you might invite the mascot to visit the cafeteria during special events. You might also delve into a little food art to put on display. The possibilities are endless. Let's take a look at a few examples. Incorporating attractive signage, decor, and displays is another strategy for selling your programs to students while educating them at the same time. Let's take a look at a few examples. A couple of other strategies for selling your programs to students include taste tests, contests, and special events. And above all, offering a variety of delicious quality meals that are presented in appealing ways is vital for selling your programs to students. Remember, even small changes can have a big impact. Now, let's look at some strategies for selling your programs to teachers and administrators. The big focus here is engagement, which means you have to show them how engaging with school food service can reinforce the lessons students learn in the classroom. Even more, you must show them that the cafeteria itself is a classroom. Here are some examples that you might use to sell your programs to this audience. 1. The cafeteria is an ideal space for learning and reinforcing manners and proper etiquette. For example, using tongs at the salad bar and waiting patiently in line. 2. Cafeteria tours or field trips are an exciting way for students to learn about personal hygiene, food safety, and food science. 3. The cafeteria environment is a place where students can develop social interaction skills. 4. The cafeteria is a perfect project-based learning center. Students can observe, evaluate, and gain experience in topics discussed in the classroom. For example, students can apply math and social science concepts by conducting taste tests and student surveys. Students can practice art skills by designing signage or creating displays for the cafeteria. Students can develop writing skills by composing songs or poems about the cafeteria. Secondary students might want to write a newspaper article about a new entree or an upcoming special event. Students can incorporate science topics and learn about healthy eating through school gardens. The list goes on. Finally, let's take a look at some strategies for selling your programs to parents. Engage parents and other family members by inviting them to dine in the cafeteria and try your menu offerings. One way to do this is by hosting special family events like Grandparents' Day. Another strategy is to include families in tasting events and mini food shows where potential new menu items are offered. Another strategy involves telling your story using as many different communication channels as possible. Consider take-home flyers, signage, robocalls, social media, websites, and parent meetings. Educate parents about your programs, highlighting nutrition standards, high-quality ingredients, and variety. Promote all of the awesome initiatives and events offered through your programs. Things like Farm to School, school gardens, nutrition education, and special events. Remember, if you don't tell your story, someone else will. Later, be sure to check out the additional ideas for selling your programs included in the participant workbook. But right now, it's time for you to have some fun putting the ideas we covered today into practice. In a moment, the instructor will pause the video and facilitate an activity called the Lunch Line Challenge. The instructor will read the instructions for completing the challenge. Be sure to reference the Smarter Lunchroom scorecard located in your participant workbook to guide your challenge strategy. Most importantly, have fun. The instructor may now pause the video and facilitate the Lunch Line Challenge activity. When you are ready to proceed with the lesson, press play. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you were able to get those creative juices flowing. Now that the challenge has concluded, I want everybody to take a couple of minutes to study each team's creation. Take notice of features that stand out to you. Which features do you find most appealing? Which features could use some improvement? How might they be improved? The instructor may now pause the video and facilitate the discussion. When you're ready to proceed with the lesson, press play. Hello again. I hope your discussion sheds some light on the reasons why certain features are appealing while others are not so appealing. I challenge you to take at least one or two strategies you learned today and implement them in your cafes. Remember, the strategies don't have to be complex. Consistent small steps are just as effective as one big step. At this time, I want to thank you for your participation today and encourage you to review the resources provided in your participant workbook. Also, don't forget to check out the other videos available as part of the 2018 Summer Manager Workshop Training Video Series. Thanks for watching.